Okay, well, um, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to Webinar Wednesdays with UXPA. We are here with Qingyi Li. The topic is Intro to Enterprise Design System. I'm gonna give a little bio about Qingyi. So Qingyi is a UX internet interaction designer based in New York City, currently focused on next generation design system and an AI-powered climate risk assessment tool at Google. With prior roles at Tencent, OnePlus, and Kohler, she has honed her skills in user experience design. Qingyi holds an industrial design degree from the Rhode Island School of Design and a master's in design and technology from Parsons School of Design. And with that, Qingyi, I will let you take it away.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. My name is Qingyi, and I'm excited to be here to talk about enterprise design system. So over the next 40 minutes, we will explore what a design system is, why it's important, and how to build, manage, and evolve one successfully. This talk is particularly relevant to those of us who's like working in the complex environment with multiple products and teams. Whether you're a designer, developer, or product manager, understanding design systems can help you improve the consistency and scalability of your product. Okay, so I'll start with a bit of background on how I found my way into the design system field. My journey began with a foundation in illustration, industrial design, and creative tech. From a young age, I loved illustrating repetitive patterns, as you can see, like my little illustrations here. So that later evolved into an interest in creating like 3D objects with like patterns and modular systems. Those are mostly like for industrial design objects like lamps, toys, and exhibition stand. As I transitioned into the digital world, creative tech, I become fascinated by like how patterns and system could be leveraged to create large scale solutions. So I'm very passionate about building cohesive, scalable systems that address complex user needs. Over the past few years, I've worked on enterprise cloud design systems at both Tencent and Google Cloud. And today, I'm excited to share some insights from those experiences with you. And every design system is built on key principles. And I have a few that get my work as well. So those are focus, minimum, and scalable. Focus means prioritizing the most important problem and not getting sidetracked. Simplicity and minimum is about keeping things like MVP. Perfection is kind of achieved when there's nothing to take away. And finally, scalable means that the solution should have room to grow and be sustainable in the long run. So these principles shape how I think about systems, and it's also like a big reason why I got into design system in the first place. Yeah, so that's a bit about me. Then let's dive into today's topics. Here's what we'll cover today. The first one, what a design system is. Since this is intro, so I'll define like what makes up a design system, and second, why we need design systems. We can explore more of the like benefits that bring to organizations, designers, and developers. And third, how to build, manage, and evolve a design system. This will be more practical. I will talk more about like how to create and sustaining a design system and what are the challenges involved. Then we can like dive into more about the enterprise aspect, like why is enterprise special. We'll discuss the unique aspects of building a design system for like large complex products. In the end, I will give you some real world examples on great public design systems. Most of them are enterprise and some of them are like close to enterprise. So you can also like reference those. Then let's start. So what exactly is a design system? A design system is a centralized collection of reusable components, design guidelines, and tools. So this is designed to help organizations create products with consistency, efficiency, and scalability across like various product and platforms. One of the like really popular thing to talk about is this, oh, design system is just like Lego pieces. This can be like used to build many different structures. You can build like people, you can build trees, you can build houses where you like fit those Lego pieces together. And a design system just like provide those pre-made building blocks for both designers and developers. So this means like no matter who's working on the product, they will be just like using those pieces and put them together to a whole new thing. So it's about making sure we're like using those like little elements to build like this cohesive, uniformed products. And the key role of a design system is to serve as the single source of truth. It's a platform where product teams, designers, developers, and product managers can find everything they need to design, build, and launch product. This includes all the documentations, code sources, and resources. For example, if you visit the Carbon Design System website, this is from IBM, you will see how it's structured as a comprehensive resource. The site provides a single place where team can all come together to access like a design specification, code demo, usage guideline, and more, just everything all in one place. By centralizing all this information, the design system can help team work faster, stay aligned, and ensure the end product meet the standard. And in a large organization, how design system work? So typically it's managed by a horizontal team that includes product manager, UX, and engineers. This core design system team collaborates closely with the vertical product teams, who are both users and contributors to the design system. So you can see like in this graph, there's a little bit of overlap. That's because like it's not separate at all. Design system team, it's its own team, but at the same time it need to like closely collaborate with the product teams. Usually each product team will have like one or a few point of contact or like ambassadors to represent their team's need, depends on the size of the team. These ambassadors will like stay connected with the design system team, offering feedback and suggesting new components or ideas. This approach keeps the design system grounded and collaborative, letting it grow naturally with like input from product teams rather than being forced on them from the top down. Then now we know like kind of the bigger picture. Let's talk about why it's essential and why do we need design system. So you might heard a lot of good words about design systems, making them sounds like almost magical, so it can do everything. I'll admit there are plenty of really real and practical benefits to use a design system. They help ensure consistency across product, help save time, reduce cost, foster innovation, improve team collaboration, enhance accessibility, and make scaling way easier than the smaller scale product. So with all these benefits, it might still feel a little bit abstract. You might be wondering, how does a design system like really impact us, like each role, specifically like how it help a UX designer? So let's break it down. So from the organization point of view, like from a business point of view, a design system reduce cost by reusing components, making it easier to manage and maintain components product over time, and speeding up the launch processes so product get to market faster. So why does this matter to UX? Because like a lot of the time you always like need to elaborate like for business need and like why business need it, right? So here is the reason business will definitely need it. And for designers, more day to day is that design systems streamline the communication and the handoff with engineers. So there's less back and forth. You just tell the engineer, oh, even you can just draw a wireframe and with some boxes saying, oh, I need a sat nav here, I need a platform bar here, I need a table here. And those components are so standardized that engineer can just go grab that component instead of you need to like illustrate every single detail out. It could also like boost innovation because it cut down like all the detailed work, allowing designers to focus more on creative problem solving. Those foundation elements are already established and the patterns are already established. UX can follow a lot of the common paths until the point that they really need innovation so they can focus on the most important problem. And then for engineers, a design system improve code consistency and maintainability. So that means a clearer and a more reliable code. That would means engineers would prefer to use design system components. So for UX, it's also easier if you just give engineers the standard component instead of custom components. So the engineer will feel, oh, this is already standard and also easier to build and maintain. It reduces bugs and errors and speed up the development. So it will like make it way easier to build and scale product efficiently. And now we know all the benefits. Let's talk about how exactly you build, manage, and involve a design system efficiently. So to build, manage, and evolve a design system, we need to start with a strong foundation. First, we focus on core design principles that guide everything we do, from the way we build component to how we make decisions across the board. And a lot of the times, people use like a three keyword and a line of like a sentence to describe what it means. And that's kind of the very, very basic and the most important and the first thing we do for a design system. And then next, we establish the visual and interaction elements. Styles like color, typography, spacing icons, and border radius are like very important for a consistent look and feel. I think also this is like graphic designers will be more familiar with this because this will be like a little bit similar to a branding guideline. It's more toward this like the overall look and feel. And also, other than this, some more foundational things are kind of this responsive design, which ensures the design system adapts seamlessly across devices, and also a guidelines for voice and tone and branding. In terms of accessibility and inclusivity, accessibility means it can like make all the components you provide in the system accessible, and this is more for the internal like the design system teams use, and also as a like educational resource for everyone to learn. So this accessibility guideline will be like serve to function. And inclusive design ensures that we consider diverse users from the start. So this is also kind of the same thing as accessibility guideline. So together, all these foundational pieces make a design system cohesive, adaptable, and prepared to meet a wide range of needs. So this is most of the time not gonna be frequently looked at because like when you design, you think of like, oh, I need this component instead of I need to read the principles, right? But this is like a really important like foundation element for the design system team themselves, and also like as I said, like for education purpose. So product team, if they need to contribute any component, they will need to look at this section to ensure that what they contributed will meet the same standard. And then we briefly mentioned the styles, but how do they actually work behind the thing? This is where design tokens comes in. Design tokens are essentially named values. You can think of them as building blocks that allow for things like theming and versioning. For example, here is a token from material design. You can see that this token has both a light and dark mode value. That's how like all the now the dark interfaces work. With design tokens, we can now like flip a switch to change the entire color scheme. And the dark mode is probably the most popular example, but there are also many other uses. We can create high contrast modes for better accessibility or even personalized themes. If you're using a Pixel device, the theme color can be customized to match colors from your selected photo. And those are like all made possible by design tokens. Then once this like foundation is in place, the next big focus for the design system is to build individual components. Things like buttons, form field, and tables. Each component is going to be fully documented with guidelines, behavior, usage, and status. We need to provide both visual examples with like all the annotations and document do and don'ts about like how to use them, and live code demo to ensure designers and developers understand exactly how people interact with the component. This documentation is essential for keeping component consistent across different product and teams. So very important part, and also like most of our work went into this part. Then you kind of like have all the pieces ready. Now, how do you help people adopt the design system? So it's very essential to consider how people actually like start to get to know the system. It will be like very for a product team, they would need to have a process to get started. So almost like all the design system will have this get started page on the top. This will like provide starter guides that walk them through each step to set up their environment, ensure they have everything they need to begin using the system efficiently. But at the same time, like a static guide might not work so well because it's just like all the instructions people can get like confused. So what else we can do is that we can engage directly with team members from product teams. We can have a introductory meeting and bring everyone up to speed, especially since not everyone has the same level of familiarity with the design system. This meeting is going to be super valuable, and it's an opportunity to align our understandings. We can build on the information already shared and dive deeper into the specific work of the design system to give our team a clear and very practical overview. And now we have the system in place. We can begin create resource and tools to make it easier to distribute information and support users effectively. So this would include building a Figma kit. I think a lot of you might be like, if you're using Figma, it might be like super familiar to you. Those are just like component inside Figma, and most of the team call it a sticker sheet. So they just like stickers you can grab and drop into your own design file and configure it. Also, a lot of the design systems are developing plugins to help feed the content into where like meet designers where they are. And also, you will be like preparing libraries to feed into those like plugin and the Figma kit, and setting up this whole thing of, also with a support channel. So like where are the is there any inconsistency? Is there any like more needs for what the resources? So with all those elements, we'll have a complete design system ready to go. And now this design system is launched, is in place. It's like far from finished at all. Like it requires ongoing management, regular updates, and clear communications. Within a lot of the system, they have a changelog page you can look at. Um, this might not mean a lot for the beginner user, but it's like really meaningful to a lot of the frequent users. Um, the changelog will document modifications, and also we'll need to send out regular newsletters and announcements to keep everyone informed of like what's new, what's changed, what you need to know about the design system. And by maintaining the strong communication channels, we ensure the design system. Hello?
You're back. Go ahead. Can you share your presentation again?
Yeah.
One moment, folks.
One moment. Okay, we're back. Um, yeah, where are we at? Yeah, we probably already noticed that I have talked through a lot of separate pieces to our like to build a design system. So now how do we keep everything in sync? We need a centralized data source that feed into each resource. Otherwise, like maintaining will turn into a constant search for inconsistencies. Both the product team and the design system team could end up in a nightmare of mismatched elements. That's why it's like super essential to build a solid data structure to ensure everything has a single source of truth. And of course, a design system isn't static. It needs to evolve with our product. To facilitate this, the design system team will need a contribution model that allows teams to suggest and develop new components. Here's an example of the criteria for accepting contributions. First, we look at component quality. It has to meet all our foundational standards, be accessible, responsive, and consistent with other components. It should also add new functionality, not just look nicer, but like actual new functions. And next, what we need from the producers, from the product teams, will be like UX guidelines, documentations, design resources, code and documentation. So those are just like what we provide for all the standard components. And then lastly, but the most important thing is that we need to communicate with the contributor about like what support level they offer, and we need to like clearly document that ownership, because clear ownership and support level are super important to avoid confusion and also ensure everything's like well maintained. When something break, we need to like immediately be able to like find this owner and have them committed to fix it. And then about another important aspect, like who's contributing those component, ambassadors or POC or like people from the product team. I had briefly mentioned it already in the beginning. So this like strong connection and collaboration with the product team is super important. They're the people who keeps validating and evolving the system. We need to keep them empowered and feel comfortable to be involved into the building of the system. We might also need strong incentives to help them contribute, something like monetary prize, like the bonus or some good reviews or badge or special swag. Just you can think of like anything you can give to them to like help them motivated to keep the involvement. Then when things changed, evolved, we will eventually need to migrate. This migration thing is the best to take by the central initiated by the central team. So central team, like usually if you think about the best scenario is that the central team can just go ahead and change all the tokens and suddenly the interface changed. However, that's not always the not always the case. So we need to like create guides and resources to help teams got there will be like a lot of the teams doing their own things, and the central team might not have like a full picture or clear understanding of like what their product is doing exactly in some specific moments. So those product teams can get a little bit sidetracked or like using the some of the custom things. um, then like during the migration, it's the central team's task to bring them back to the main road. It's the best for the central team to like provide help and suggest the best path forward for the product team. Then they can be simply just accepting it or like raise their request. I think now we have talked over a lot of things, and we might have like a clearer picture of how design system work now. It's definitely like come with a lot of resources and also a big set of challenges. Some of the common issue that we briefly mentioned include like unclear ownership, difficulties finding the right components, and keep everything up to date. Those are kind of like the most common challenges. A lot of the solutions are also already thought of by the number of like design system teams. A mature design system should have like a dedicated central team for managing this whole process and come up with solutions. And a lot of those are already worked well for some of the bigger systems, and other systems are just need to like continue working to adopt the solutions. Yeah, and also when we think about design system as a whole, now we have AI kind of like come into the picture. Um, then talk a little bit about like what we do with AI in collaboration with design system. Um, I I'm not sure like if this feature is available for most of you, but this is already in Figma's website. I don't have access to it right now, but it looks like something you can generate interface already. And so something like this, we can use it to kind of release the more potential of the design system. We can like use AI to build interface as all because we have design systems. We have a lot of design systems, and those design systems are clearly documenting how design work and how interface end up with in Figma. So we have to like admit that Gen AI does have like really great potential, but at the current stage, it's more like a source of inspiration and a dream that could happen one day. It is not too much of a production tool right now, but some of the practical use of the AI could be something simpler, like the little pieces of this whole tool could be something like, oh, you can use natural language to search component or guideline, or chat with the UX guideline, or match the component, like match a sketch with a real component UI, or you can like search for intended use cases. Yeah, now we had talked so much about general design systems. How about enterprise? So, what is enterprise design system special, and how it differ from all other consumer product design systems? One thing could be like very simple is that the enterprise design system has way more components. um like for example, you can see like for enterprise it could have like a 50 to 100 components, but for consumer product design system they might only have like a 20 to 30. And why is that? It's because like enterprise products are often used by people to perform very complex tasks. And remember like how we accept the contribute component contribution is actually by function instead of looks. So there are way more complex tasks to do in enterprise product. That's more components are required. And many could be also like a collection of smaller components, because they're like used so frequently and already have a certain user flow. They could be made into a component, something like a stepper, or like a integration to the other product. So, like in a bigger picture, enterprise design system, how it different from consumer, it could be like the complex workflow. It need to like deal with a large amount of data, and it has like a more strict compliance requirement, like accessibility. The design system must be like robust enough to handle these complexities while remaining user friendly and scalability. This requires like additional planning, documentation, and testing to ensure like every component can support those tasks. And then there is a little exercise. I know you might not have like access to the chat, but maybe just think of it in your own mind. If you look at this table, how would you imagine it a bit different in enterprise product? This is a table from Google Material. I'll give maybe a few seconds. And if you would like to, you can like input your thoughts into the Q&A as well. Okay, I guess like you might have your thought already. So let's see what's in the enterprise table. So this is a table from the Cloudscape. In enterprise design system, components are like tailored to handle more specific needs, and it needs to have like way more features. For example, this enterprise table, it included this like more advanced filtering options and inline editing and paginations to support like more data. This table is more designed for repetitive task-oriented workflow, often involve like multiple steps and arrow control, and also this like extra functionality and complexity just make the component UI looks really complex, and there are a lot of like details to solve. So for this component, if you come back like look at the consumer component, you will find the component, a lot of the time it's more the look of it matters more. It's more like for display, but for enterprise product the look is more serving the function. And here are some more examples of the complex enterprise components. One of the very often seen thing is this key value list. So as we talked about, there are a lot of data to manage. So a key value list will be essential. And then we can also see there's a lot of steps and enterprise task. So there will be things like this, like steppers or like a checklist, and each of the item could have a lot of input or form below it. Yeah, and that's almost done, and to the end of it, I'll share some like real world examples of the design systems out there. There a lot of them are enterprise design system, and some others are mixed in because they're like very close to enterprise, so they're like really worth referencing, and all of those are public. So some of those like are a little bit special. They're the government design system. So this first one is the government UK design system. So what's special about government design system is that those systems prioritize accessibility, so they need to like make government service usable by everyone. It's like very inclusive, and it kind of demonstrates the importance of clear guidelines and robust accessibility. So if you need to build something, like although the look and feel of those design system might not be the best, but you can definitely like rely on them for like accessibility and focus on standardization and the scalability. And the third one is the Cloudscape by Amazon. So Amazon's design system is like known for its like cloud service. It's tailored for data-heavy applications. They're like already built for so many years and tested. A lot of people are using them, and it's kind of the beginner foundation of a lot of other design systems as well. So this is a great reference. And the rest are kind of what I usually like just look at for reference. You can also like take a look at them. They definitely like all have their own like style and have their way of categorizing things and talk about things. They have different voice and tone and visuals. So I think those are all like pretty interesting. If you like look across them, they're definitely very similar, but they are also like very much tailored to their own product needs. And here are more. You can also see like some are like a little bit older and some are newer. They also like evolve a lot like over these years. Yeah, and those are all I got. And thank you so much for being great audience. And now we can probably do a little bit of Q&A.
If you have any questions for Jingy, please put it in the Q&A here and she'll answer. We've got a few questions coming in. Would you like me to read them to you?
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay, let's see here. Carolyn Redeman asks, how does Figma fit in? Do you replicate all the components in Figma?
Um, Yes, actually, Figma Kit is a big part of the design system. Like especially, it's like super close to designers' work. I actually like built the design system Figma Kit for the Google Cloud design system. Um, so what we do is that we will usually have a master file. So if you're familiar with how to build a component in Figma, it's usually like so you, for example, draw this table and you group them together, make them like with auto layout, and then you create a component. After you create a component, you can add a lot of like different configurations. Something like, oh, you can add a filter or remove filter. You can have more rows. You can have more columns. You can have pagination or not, or you can have checkboxes. So those configurations will all be available to like set up in the Figma component setting panel. Then once you created this master component, you create an instance of it and make it another like the sticker sheet. So in the sticker sheet, you have the instance of the component and show each different state and how designers might use it. You can also like have more guidelines in your the all-in-one design system website. Talk about how to use those configurations. And for designers, if they need to use it, they mostly go to the sticker sheet to copy and paste, or they go to a Figma plugin or um, somewhere like some design systems offer it in a page template. So you have a template with all the components you possibly could need, and you paste into your own design file and modify and adjust the states and configurations. Yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Awesome. Matthew Neal is asking, could you share any thoughts you may have in regards to when your company decides to use a third party product that may not align with the structure of your design system?
um, Let me think. The third party product, um, you mean it's gonna be sorry, let me just clarify it a little bit. So you mean this third party product will be integrated with the company's product, or this is a tooling that
Yeah,
designers gonna use to build the design system?
Matthew, if you can clarify it, it might be maybe more of like the plugins, for example, to kind of use with the design system, maybe.
Yeah, so if in that case, the third party plugin right now is gonna be like approved by a central team. Um, I guess they have some like contract or some NDA to sign with those products, but we do have access to some of the third party product.
Awesome. Hopefully that answered your question, Matthew. Another question we have from two people is will the slides, especially with the examples, be available? Um, that that's up to you. We can if you are able to share the slides, if your company allows you to share your slides with us, we can put that up with the recording on our website if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, because my slide is also like pretty general. It's talking about like a general design system instead of like our specific design system. So yeah, it can be available.
Great, great. Any other questions? Put them in the Q&A now if you have them. Okay, well, while we wait for more questions, thank you so much for this presentation, Chingy. This was really awesome. A lot of great information here. I feel like we could have extended this to be like hours and hours long. This is awesome. So the recording of this will be available on uxpa.org, in as well as, if you're, of course, you're the slide deck, if you're able to share with that, that'd be great as well. We can make that available. Um, the the next webinar Wednesday is going to be December 11th. You can already sign up for that one, register for that one. It's designing behavior change with AI. And looks like we have another question here for this one. So Jacqueline Gordon says, are there times or circumstances when you wouldn't recommend using a design system?
Um, yeah, so if the design system is meant to be only used by like one small product that the components are not needing to be reused, then you will not need a design system. Um, and also like for a team, like if you are the only designer, you probably can like make your own like style sheet, and you can have your own like file for some Figma components, but you might not need to create all the documentations and stuff, because that's like all more like a mean for collaboration, and it works more like when you have more people on the team, so you need to like share those understandings. But I will say like once your team like get bigger than probably like 3 to 5 people as designers, it might start to feel a little bit like more important. And as you like your team grow or like your product space grow, it might like start to feel more how to say like a cost efficient to like start building it, because maintaining it is also a lot of cost. If you think like it worth it, and probably like need to meet a certain size.
Yeah. Got another question here from Ryan Obermiller. Wondering if you could speak to situations when developers have to go outside the bounds of a design system or customize components of a design system, as in going beyond just using the design system out of the box, and how you navigate that when maybe the developers are less comfortable doing that.
So usually we strongly recommend stay within the design system out of the box components. And if there is a absolute need to customize it, it's usually like we got a lot of those kind of like questions like, oh, can I change this, like for example change this status color, can we change this line, we don't like this divider, we want this background. There are a lot of questions like that. So this will like come to our kind of contribution model. We'll evaluate like if this meets all our design standard design principles, is this matching our style guidelines. So if the quality is good enough, then is this like adding like additional functionalities to the product, is this function kind of like overlapping with any other component. And also as this component itself, it's like meeting all the like the accessibility, responsiveness, and all this standards. So this will be like a kind of complex process to kind of like evaluate if the component is good enough. So if it's good enough, then it will be added to the standard component system. But if it's not, that basically means this component, there is something wrong with it. So you probably shouldn't use it. Like you can customize it and use it, but there might be like something not really fitting the overall system. But of course, like the world is not perfect. There could be like a lot of cases like that. So in cases when the product team feels strongly about like they just need to do this customization, or they don't have time to go through the whole contribution process, they can do customization, but we will like make sure if possible they still like use our tokens, they still like use the smaller parts of the components. Like for example, if they're making a new form, they need to use like our input field or the button, so they're just like making another assemble instead of like really creating from scratch. So that way we still have a little bit of control over the component. And if like for example, if in the future we go to another theme or color, they still get those updates.
Thank you. All right. Doesn't look like we have any other questions. So like I said before, the next webinar is Wednesday, December 11th. Go ahead and register for that. And also, if you didn't know, tomorrow is World Usability Day. Yay! So your local UXP chapter probably has an event going on. So look them up and find out what's going on. There's some in-person events happening. There are some virtual events happening. So definitely look that up. And if you don't happen to have a local chapter or your local chapter is not as active, feel free to reach out. I'm the director of chapters. Reach out and find out how to reactivate a chapter or how to create a chapter. Or even just reach out to your own chapter and find out how you can help them. That's it's my service announcement of the day about local chapters. So yeah, thank you so much, Shingy, again for this presentation. This was awesome. Thank you for all the participants as well for asking great questions about this. It was a great topic. And like I said before, the recording will be available on our website soon, along with the slide deck with those examples. So thank you all, and I hope you have a good rest of your day and hope you celebrate World Usability Day tomorrow or sometime this week. Okay?
Yeah, thank you, Christina, and thanks everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.